Is finally free from the tyranny of being able to buy stuff from other countries.
Yes, there's many different ways you can point out the problems in this now failed tariff policy as the markets plunge. Listen to how Trump's own allies, people that he has empowered enough to be a part of his team but apparently aren't getting through to him, how they warned about what was a fairly well understood economic issue.
A tariff is a tax on Americans. A tariff isn't paid by the exporter. China's not going to pay the tariff. The buyer is going to pay the tariff.
Donald Trump has proposed a 40% tariff, which is a tax on all of you. I think raising your taxes by 40% would kill jobs.
China wins when we fight with Europe. China wins when the American consumer has higher prices because of tariffs that don't affect Chinese behavior.
That's what they said, because remember, even if you don't follow trade policy closely, this isn't one of those 50-50 issues. So while the parties do sometimes debate aspects of targeted tariffs, overall, both parties have said you want to avoid a global trade war. Here was President Reagan 30 years back.
High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
Millions lose their jobs. Economic historians note, by comparison, the new Trump tariffs are more widespread than any president and even broader than the infamous example of a failed trade war, the 1930 Smoot-Hawley tariffs. Those are seen by the light of day after many years of study as something that worsened the Great Depression. Now, I said you don't have to be an expert, but Smoot-Hawley tariffs are one of those things that are part of common historical conversations, and a very memorable moment where part of the baseline joke was if the students didn't know the truth, the teacher was trying to show them tariffs are bad, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone? The Great Depression, passed the, anyone? A tariff bill. Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression.
We're joined by Margaret Carlson. I will tell Margaret it did not work, and we sunk into a Great Depression. Welcome on a tough day for people who are paying these costs. We've covered the numbers a lot. Your view on that baseline political point. Many Republicans and others attacked these tariffs because they were bad for the economy and thus bad politics.
And everyone seemed to know that, even some people in Trump's cabinet, that's just how it is with tariffs. It's not hard. It's just not hard to figure out. Even Ferris Bueller's teacher knew it. And, you know, if you were to go to Congress and say anyone, every one of them, even the ones that we don't think of as this, you know, the smartest in the world, they would know that. And they know that because they want to get reelected. And it's a simple matter. You know, there's a lot of times when you can figure out what Trump is doing by tracing who he has a grudge against. But he doesn't have a grudge against, say, Lesotho, who's up there at around 45 or 50%. It's, you know, it doesn't really make sense, except that Putin's gotten away scot-free. Now, I think the White House said, well, but, you know, we don't, there are already sanctions on Russia. It doesn't matter that much. That's not what it is. But, you know, it falls into a pattern that I do understand about Trump, which is he wants to lay off Putin. Putin is not in his sights. He supports Putin against Zelensky, and he supports Putin against having tariffs imposed. But that's the only, I just can't see it. And for the Tesla, Elon Musk, it doesn't seem to have mattered, does it, Ari, about his company? He seems to just be so rich that he can let his company lose millions and millions and millions of dollars and be kind of carefree and go off to Wisconsin and put on a Pat.
Yeah, but it may matter in the long term. I mean, that history has yet to be written. Where does Elon Musk land? And on ego alone, if Trump policies have him slipping off that top of the poll, we don't know how he'd react to that. I wanted to show you Rand Paul making the same Ferris Bueller point.
Tariffs have also led to political decimation. When Hott Smooly put on their tariff in the early 1930s, we lost the House and the Senate for 60 years. So they're not only bad economically, they're bad politically.
With 70 seconds, Margaret, our political expert, how does that point seep out across Wall Street and the GOP?
Well, the GOP does seem to be getting that point. They don't want to go home, and they don't want to have to run again with this going on, because it's one of the surer things in politics that this is not a winning thing. If we're not in a recession, it would be a surprise. I mean, everybody in the Congress expects it, except for Trump in the White House doesn't. His advisors, other than, say, Howard Lutnick, didn't really want these tariffs. It's astonishing. Tim Noah, who writes for the New Republic, he started writing this morning, and his 401k was worth $12,000, and 45 minutes later, when he finished the piece, it was worth $10,000. So everybody feels this, and you can count it, whether you're a really rich person or whether you have a $12,000 401k. Yeah. And every Republican congressman up in the midterms knows that.